I'm a pretty laid back person. Like I don't really stress out over things, but John's even way more laid back. He's any more laid back, he'd be horizontal, right?
let me tell you something. So I was telling this to Joanne, right? Like we could tell at the start of the conference, Albert's a little panicky, right? Like we were starting late, things are happening, man. Even the speakers aren't there yet. You kind of see him, he's starting to sweat. And I was texting Joanne, it's like, man, look at Albert, he's a little stressed. Look at me. I'm just like, man, Jesus, take the wheel.
Thanks for joining us this week on the Elite Sales Podcast. I'm joined here this week by Mia Lineweaver. She's actually flew down from, where are you joining us from?
From Portland, Oregon.
Portland, Oregon. So she's looking at joining the company in some capacity. So, we flew her down here so we can discuss different business opportunities. So we're looking forward to all of that. Looking forward to just that's a great thing about this business. We can find different ways to grow, and that's what we're exploring. So keep doing what you guys are doing. We're also joined in the studio by Clifton Henry of FFL Generational.
How's it going, guys?
So we actually just came off of the LA Sales Conference, which Clifton emceed the event. How was it? How was the event? Because you talked about last time you're on here, you were being a little bit nervous.
Oh yeah. During the event, I was still definitely nervous. I was scared out of my mind. However, I'm not gonna lie, I got through it. I thought it was fun. I enjoyed it, and there was a lot of great speakers up there. They spit hot fire, so it was definitely a success. Cool. Definitely success.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think it was good. It was great seeing anyone that was out there. Anyone that's joining us here. I mean, it's good to be back around the team, to have new agents going up there and training. Like, it's always exciting watching you host your first event.
Yeah,
it was pretty cool. But we also have the Kicks for Kids event coming up June 12th and June 13th. It's a shoe drive for needy children all across the Los Angeles and Southern California area, hosted by the Dream Center. It's gonna be June 12th. It's gonna be a Sunday. That's gonna be an all day shoe giveaway. We're gonna wash people's feet, give away shoes. I've already donated some money. I'm gonna look to see how much more I can donate. But it's a very, very worthy event. It's a very worthy cause, and it's gonna be great. So if you guys are in the area, love to see you guys there. The following day, Monday, June 13th, we have a all-day sales training hosted by Family First Life USA and all the groups within it. It's going to be a huge event. That venue seats over 4,000 people, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, it's like 10 times the size, more than 10 times the size of what we did last week.
Yeah, that's wild.
But yeah, it's going to be a great training from top producers, top managers all across the country. And you don't want to miss it. So if you haven't registered yet, we're going to send out the link. We'll put on the group chat. So make sure you guys register. Hope to see you guys there, or I will see you guys there. And we also have John Tell. Are you on here?
Oh man, John Tell.
Hey, what's going on, Clifton? Albert, I'm here.
So John Tell flew out last week from the Orlando area, right?
Correct.
So he flew out across the country so he can come out and train. He's been doing really well, protecting families out there and just growing his business. And how long have you been with us now, John Tell?
Started in February.
February, okay. So less than 6 months, and you're already one of the top producers. You're steadily growing. You're picking things up. So we actually asked him to come up and train. So he can kind of share, because while we have tons of top producers, top managers, that have been doing it for a while. Like, we always love to hear from new people, because number one, love to hear their new perspective, but also to show that this can be reproduced over and over again. All you got to do is just follow the system, put in some work. So how was the experience for you, John Tell?
It was pretty awesome, man. Being on the East Coast, it was good to meet everybody in person and things. I feel like I like to get around very successful people. A lot of good information there. Sean Mike talking and things. It was awesome for me. I learned some things, and it was just a good experience. It kind of so far these few months, it's been nothing short of amazing for me. But it even kind of expanded my vision and my mindset on kind of what I can do and what I plan to do, hopefully over the next few years or however long it is. But so it just really broadened my horizons even more.
Yep. And then obviously Dante brought you in, so you guys knew each other from the previous company, the practice company, right?
Correct. Yep. Yep. I actually never worked with him in the practice company. We met at a convention from the practice company, and it kind of came up. He already had some things in his mind, and he shared it with me. I was obviously familiar with the company, but at that time, I wasn't really thinking I was going to be moving, but just, over time and kind of paying attention to what was going on, just came to a point where it seemed like the right thing to do for me, and thank God it was. So I'm glad I'm here.
Yeah, we got a chance to meet Dante out at the national convention out in Miami, and so I know he's got some big things planned here with Family First Life. So you also got a chance to obviously you guys do your live dials, regularly. You guys call together and you work on your business together. But this is the first time that you met. Was it the first time you met Jason and Marlon in person?
Yeah, it was the first time I saw anybody in person except Dante. We do the Zooms on a daily, and we dial together and things like that. So the relationship was there, but it's still good to face to face meet people, because I had never met anyone face to face except for Dante, and I really had only seen Dante once, I think. I think so. Yeah, it was my first time really getting to see everybody and touch it and feel it, other than my bank account, and know it was real.
Right. Yeah, you're taller than I expected in person. So you got a chance to come by the office after the fact too, and hang out with the rest of the team and just get to know people a little bit more. How important is it to have like a team environment for you to really grow your business to the next level?
To me, it's invaluable. I'm a all the way mindset type person, and kind of just knowing that other people are going through the same things you're going through. I feel like iron sharpens iron. So when you're around people who are doing things, making it happen, it only, you kind of are a product of your environment, so to speak. So when you're around people and things, you learn things, even just through small talk and conversations, you're learning things. And then, of course, when you can laugh and hang out and ride in a Maserati, Clifton, and stuff like that, it's good too. It lets you know where your head is. So to me, the tactics, techniques, strategies, that stuff is always important. But I almost put an invaluable price on that bonding and that time getting together with people and things like that, because you can't really quantify that stuff. But I do think it goes a long, long way on those days where you may not be feeling your best and things like that.
Right. So was this your first time training an event like this?
Yeah, I think so. I think I've done some smaller trainings at the practice company, but that was a few more people than I think I had ever talked to about anything like that. So yeah, that was pretty much my first time doing something on that scale, so to speak.
Yeah, and your training was great up there. I mean, you were really poised, and you just gave out a really good, practical, useful information. So we appreciate you for sharing that with the rest of the team. So I mean, did if you had to share some tips with like brand new agents who weren't able to make it that day, what would be the main points for them to pick up?
I've had tough times getting this isn't an easy business. It pays a lot, but I think nothing in life comes easy. If it's going to really do something for you, you got to put in work. I just, you can see the large amounts of money people are making, and because everybody's so down to earth and cool, you may be under the impression that it's easy and it comes easy, and that's not the case. But for me, what I kind of have to remind myself is, if anybody else is doing it, then I truly believe I can do it. So you just got to give yourself a chance to win. For me, it almost like magic went from just feeling like, what am I doing, to I think I'm doing, and that I can't learn more. But when you keep doing sits and calling people and making calls, you're going to get appointments. When you get appointments, you're going to get sales. And if you give yourself a chance to win, you will. And I, for me personally, I don't know if it resonates with other people, But when I got it in my mind that if I stick with it, I feel like you're guaranteed to win. It's not an if, when you're hoping something happens, that to me is a little bit can be futile. You don't know if it is or if it isn't. But if you get it in your mindset that when I'm to that place, I absolutely will win. Then for me, that just meant I got to make enough calls or I got to do enough appointments. And when I used to be shaking in my boots, I literally was almost terrified. Now, I can put my hot dog down real quick and boom, do my thing, because you just get better at it. So, and for me, that's comfort knowing if I do my part, then it is going to work out, So I just encourage people to like stick with it. I also feel like a lot of times for me, my personal experiences, I was looking for the ease, the better way, so to speak. You don't want to say easy, that sounds bad, but we're looking for the better way. And to be quite honest, I don't think there is a better way. You just got to get qualified. You got to put in the work. And when you're better and you know how to overcome objections and rebuttals and then you're going to close deals and it's going to get easier and easier. You'll get better and better. So, I just think there isn't an easy way. It's just putting in your time and work. And I think you're guaranteed success. And to me, it's an amazing opportunity.
Money. Love it.
So last month, I mean, you helped you protected over 30 families, somewhere in that range.
25 families.
25 families. Okay. So how many hours of work do you put in a week?
I typically put in between about me personally 40 and 50. I know there's some people who go harder. I have 3 biological and 2 non-biological kids. So, for me, I try to keep a good balance, but I put in typically 40 hours during the week. And I like to make calls on the weekends when I can, because I feel like there's a good connect ratio there. So Absolutely. If I can do between 5 and 10 hours on the weekend, I think those are money hours for me.
Why do you think weekends are good to connect with people?
Well, I think for one, on Saturday mornings in particular, they're home, they're there, so you can catch them. They're not at work and things. So I think you connect with people. I think if you do get a sit with somebody on the weekend, then they're probably maybe have a slightly more serious commitment level to what you got going on. So it's a better close ratio, in my opinion. Those are the 2 reasons I think it works out better for me.
No, I agree. And we were all kind of spoiled here at Family First Life because we have such a variety of lead options. We have an abundance of leads that you can go out and purchase. That a lot of people they get into these bankers hours of when we think we should be working, just on the weekdays when 9 to 5 or whatever it may be, and which plenty of people have done really well with it. So you can't really knock it. But you also got to think about all the people that work during those times that won't be available. All the families that need help during those times. And, weekends were traditionally the best times for us to work at our old company, right? Mm-hmm. And you remember those days.
Yes,
we didn't work together, but we're at the same company.
Yeah.
Those were actually like, you can get, that was the weekends were kind of the equivalent of like maybe 4 or 5 days during the week for the weekdays. So, sure. You can really condense time frames and just like, get as much done as you can during those days. So I don't know, for anyone that wants to make a little bit more money, look into that. It's working for Chantal. Obviously. So, that's something for you guys to explore. So are you looking to build a team as well? Or are you just focusing on personal production for now? What's your overall scheme right now?
Well, I'm trying to get like you. So that if that includes
there you go.
Team, then yes, I am. Obviously for me though, I really take I take it serious to kind of know what I'm talking about. And there's a lot more here to offer than the practice company. So and to be quite honest, financially you could do a lot better here than the practice company. So that hasn't been the forefront of my mind, to be quite honest, just yet, because I'm only a few months old. I wanted to get up to speed myself, but obviously as soon as even now, I feel like I'm getting to the point where I definitely want to start working on building a team. But up until this point, it had been my focus to kind of learn at least a solid foundation on the variety of products that we have here that I never really dealt with at the old company.
And this is your battle station. This is where you do all your work out of, where you're sitting at right now.
Yep, this is the place right here. Yeah.
So it's all virtual and telesales. You don't go out anymore.
Yeah, no, I do all telesales virtual. I very rarely, if somebody local wants me to come, I will go there. But for the most part, it just, I in Orlando, there's a billion tolls everywhere. It just doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, I'm always working from right here.
Awesome. So, I mean, we have a lot of people that are on the team, obviously, but for anyone that's brand new, that's not part of FFL yet, and maybe looking into it, if someone wanted to work with you, how would they contact you?
Um, I'm trying to get my social media game up, but I guess I could give I'll put my number in the chat, and anybody can reach out to my number if that'll be cool.
Give it out here where I'm posted to.
Okay. Really? You want me to?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. My direct number, man, I don't mind anybody. 407-490-8879.
There we go.
Cool. Well, hopefully if there's anyone new out there that's not part of the team, if you want to work with John Tal, give the man a call. He's out there leading by example, and just, he's willing to help. So appreciate you having it on.
No, thank you for having me, Albert. I appreciate everything you guys do, man. Awesome job.
Great talking to you, and we'll have you out again soon.
For sure.
All right. Thanks, Chantal. It was a really cool training event. I mean, so, got a chance to meet, agents like Chantal for the first time. And so it's always cool meeting new people in this business. And it's not just for the social aspect of it, but you see how many people, want to improve their financial situation, how many people want to improve, or they may be okay with where they're at. But the thing is, there's a lot more to get out of life. And sometimes we don't even know what opportunities, lie out there for us. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk to you guys today about. We'll start with you, Cliff.
Sure.
So, if I don't know, there are people that you've shared within your own family, I know, but, for people that are out there looking for an opportunity, like, why FFL?
The reason why I think FFL is probably the greatest opportunity, especially when in the life insurance industry, because they have the best platform, the best systems. Number one, hands down. I've been in one insurance company before, and I've worked with people that's been through multiple different insurance companies, and they all agree they have a great way for you to get leads. Obviously, it's endless leads throughout the United States. Number one. Number two, you're really building a business, and you're really building your business rather than building somebody else's business. So the fact that it has, you can actually go out there, write business on your own pen and build a business simultaneously. I think that's a beautiful combination. Yeah.
I remember when you first came in, you're one of the stipulations was you wanted to be left alone as much as possible.
Oh yeah. 100%.
Why was that?
Because I had a bad taste in my mouth, my man. So practice company, they said you were building your own business. They said, hey, you know what, you're self-employed, this and that. But it was definitely not that. It was definitely not that. You had to hit quotas and all kind of different stuff. And, as mentioned before, it left a bad taste in my mouth. So when I came on board, I was like, hey, you know what? I already know how the insurance game goes. I don't want to have, don't tell me to do anything. I'm going to write my business when I want to write business, just to make some extra cash on the side. Because I had like other businesses on the side that I was trying to develop, and some that was making some good money for me. But so yeah, that was the reason why I didn't want to. I wanted to be left alone. But as I continued throughout the business, and I actually saw that, oh wait, this is actually a really really good opportunity. Like I can actually grow if I wanted to build, but I can also make a lot of money because the comp here is like outrageous. I didn't even believe the comp was like true in the beginning. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was like, this is all cap. This is all cap. I don't care what nobody say. They're gonna try to take that money out of my account as soon as they drop it in. I was like, no, I'm not about to get okie doke. But yeah, that was my main reason, to be honest.
So now you're open to working more in the team environment and actually.
Oh yeah, 100%. Because now I know it's all real. It's not just like, what do they say, that one saying, like smoke in the mirror or something like that. So I know that it's real now because that's what it is, right?
It's all smoke. It's all built in smoke and mirrors, or
it's something like that. When you can't. I know I'm saying it right?
Generally, we're in the ballpark.
I don't use the term, but it's something along those lines. But yeah, so after being here for so long and just realizing that the opportunity is real, like what they say is real, I'm like, okay, yeah, this is the place to be for sure, 100%, no doubt.
Yeah. No, I mean, I was kind of the same way. I was a little bit guarded initially when I first started because we had bad experience.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't the worst experience. I mean, like,
Yeah, yeah,
we're not
definitely.
victims
Not
by
the
any,
worst, but
by
yeah.
any means. But yeah, I don't like being micromanaged.
Yeah.
So the thing is, I just wanted to be left alone so I can just figure it out and do my thing.
Yeah.
But so the thing is, there's a difference too. Like we're not fighting accountability. We're not trying to just be left alone. So then there's no accountability because always needs to be accountability if you want to grow your business. Unless you're planning on doing it entirely alone, which you can't really build a business that way. So the thing is, if you're also, the thing is, if you're trying to be left alone, you're also leaving yourself exposed to not being a help that much. And the thing is, you got to recognize what you're putting into any type of opportunity. So if you say I don't want to be managed, leave me alone, let me do my thing. You also, on the flip side, can't be like, hey, how come no one's helping me? How come you're not there to do this and that? Like there's always got to be a give and take with any successful business relationship.
Agreed.
So that's kind of the beauty, though. I mean, you have the opportunity to build it however you want, and as you started coming around, you started seeing this was a legitimate opportunity.
Yeah. Started asking more questions. Yeah.
And more importantly, I think the biggest thing was you started to believe that you can do this, and you believe that you can actually build here. Then you started asking a lot more questions. You started hanging around at the office a little bit more. You started, just picking my brain and everyone else around that's doing a little bit better than you. So
agreed. Yeah.
So now asking you earlier too. I mean, you went from a position where you were constantly trying to learn a little bit more about the business, and then recently you've been called a mentor.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I was kind of blushing. Y'all can't tell, but I was kind of blushing. I was kind of blushing. It felt pretty good because like I've been in the game, or at least for FFL, for about 2 years now. And granted, like I've worked with multiple different people, but I've never been called a mentor before. And I'm like, ever, right? So I was like, man, that's pretty good that this person sees me as a mentor and that I can actually pour into this person and I can, like, give back, you know what I'm saying? Because you gave me a lot, you know what I'm saying? You were still my mentor and you gave me so much, and to be able to give that back and to have, like people say, hey man, like, thank you, you're my mentor, like I'm growing because of you. It's a beautiful feeling, man. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's a beautiful feeling. You know what I'm saying? I like it. I'm not gonna lie, I like it.
Well, I mean, and the cool thing about that is you're a very humble guy, business wise. I mean, personally, there's some areas we can't get you to shut up, but but you've always been very humble in helping people, and so I mean, I think like that was kind of a cool thing to see and hear.
Yeah.
Because you've always kind of just underestimated your own ability from my observation, and then kept chugging along. You've had people doubt you. You've had your fair share of haters, and then you just kept going. And I'm proud of you for doing that.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Cool. Anything else you want to share with the group? About why they should build their business?
Not much, but if you're considering building, I honestly believe that you should just build from the jump, man. You're gonna learn along the way. You're gonna get better, and even if, let's say, you think you know everything 6 months later or 12 months later, there's still a ton of stuff to learn and a ton of stuff to know. So just start building from now, man. Grow your team with whoever you feel like is gonna be your guys, and whoever wants to grow a team with you. I feel like the sooner you start, the better off you'll be, and the faster you'll be able to grow the business.
Cool. Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're gonna have
guys.
John. Why don't we? Either one. We're gonna rotate in a few people. We're gonna have my staff. We had a debrief after the sales conference on last week. So we had a meeting on Monday, which kind of evaluated where we're at, what we needed to do. So this is our recruiting and contracting director, Joan Rosales.
Hi, everybody.
Pretty sure most of you guys have had some interaction with her
at some point, right?
Yeah.
Well, probably each and every one of you guys with our welcome email. Well, that would be the first point of contact, I'd say.
Right. And you'll see correspondence from her. But if you guys have issues with your contracting, or you have some ideas on getting onboarded, she is the point woman.
Yeah.
So we've been having a lot of talks between the two of us and the staff. We've been talking about taking this business to the next level. So, what are your observations? What do we need to do? What can we do?
Gotcha. So on my end, I take care of two different things. So I'll do like the contracting for all of our new agents, right? But for anybody listening, I mean, when it comes down to contracting, our contracting is, I always focus on, and my main goal is to make sure that everybody that comes on board is going through the contracting phase pretty seamlessly, whether they're coming from another IMO or they're fairly new to insurance. So that's like my main goal is always to make sure that no matter like what their circumstances, that we, are able to kind of move them all along and be able to provide them with writing numbers ASAP. So, so that's one. And then with recruiting, I mean, as a whole, I think we're just getting better at identifying like real life agents that do want to grow their business, because ultimately within FFL, the opportunities that we have are a lot different in comparison to a lot of the practice companies and a lot of other IMOs that are out there. In speaking to the new recruits and stuff like that, I realized that, and also in doing the contracting, we have it pretty good. If you're a part of Family First Life, you have it pretty good, because number one, like we don't have any contracts. And that on my end, from what I see from, if we are recruiting people from the practice companies, it's very rare that any practice company will release any one of their agents, it's really rare that somebody offers 100%, a minimum of 95, percent comp, I want to say, or carrier contracts. So it's extremely rare that these opportunities are out there for the new life agents, people that are fairly new to insurance, that don't even know that there is a better opportunity out there. So if you're out there listening, there is a better opportunity, and it's called Family First Life.
Mm-hmm. I'm familiar with
So
that.
like, yeah, right. So in general, I think, just being able to identify those people that do want to build a business, people that are self-starters, people that want to be around other builders and other people that want to grow an agency.
So for people that are out there looking to build a business, what's the likelihood of it being successful if they're just like, I'm just going to introduce a bunch of people, stick them in contracting, and I don't want to talk to them. I just want to sit back and make money?
Yeah, well, that's really not going to work. In my opinion, it's really not going to work 100%, because new agents need some guidance and they need to be shown some examples. So if you are bringing people in, like, don't just put them in HCMS and leave them there. It's not just about that. For me, I'm really good with helping everybody, answering any questions that anybody may have with all of our, executive VPs that are on the call. But overall, I mean, yeah, it's just about, making sure that we're all proactive with all of our agents and making sure that we are kind of setting an example for all these milestones that they can achieve with us.
Yeah, I think it was James Roberts that was up there speaking. He's a new agent on FFL West Coast, but he was up there sharing. He said, like, the biggest pet peeve for most agents is just that your upline doesn't pick up. Right?
Yeah,
and for me, that's like
unfathomable. So with us, I want to say that if that's ever a case within our agency, it hardly is ever a problem within our agency, and the reason for that is because all of our executive VPs for all of the sub agencies are pretty much really active. I hardly ever have an issue with anybody calling me, telling me that their upline doesn't pick up. And if so, then I make sure that their upline picks up and is able to assist them if that's like, something that their upline should be doing. But other than that, I mean, we're all pretty much, and not only that, but throughout our agency, I want to say that you guys can literally reach out to anybody for any questions on anything. If there's an agent out there that is already writing and you have any type of a question, just like put it in the group me or anywhere. We have different platforms where the questions can be asked. We have the Q&A, Instagram post that goes up on Fridays. You guys can add the questions on there. Like, there's just so many different ways that they can have all of their questions answered.
And I'm a big believer. If you bring people in, you want to build a business, just make the time for them. Like, put them in the best position to win. I mean, but don't get it twisted too. I mean, like, if you're out there and just be like, my upline didn't pick up one time, like, they have their own lives, they're running their own business.
Yeah.
You got to be reasonable with everything. So, and also if you're calling your upline regularly, ask yourself, are you actually working, or are you just calling them to ask them some general question about, like, hey, what about this hypothetical or whatever? Because we all got to value each other's time. So if you do need help, reach out. Reach out to your upline. If not, your upline's not available, reach out to your upline's upline. Reach out to me. Reach out to whoever.
Reach out to any of us.
There's tons of help out there. Joanne's very, very good about helping out anybody. So, that's the thing. We all got to take our own responsibility for our part, whatever it is that we do. If you're looking to build a team, be responsible for your people. Just help them out whatever way you can. You're not going to do the work for them, because that's for them to figure out, for them to put in that work, get that experience, continue to improve. Because if you try to do too much for them, then they don't have an opportunity to figure it out for themselves. But if you're on the agent side of things, like, don't think about all the stuff that people didn't do for you. If it's a reasonable amount and they're pick up the phone, they're able to tell you what they did or what they would do in certain situations. That's pretty much all you can ask for. You got to figure it out. You got to take responsibility, take ownership over your business and want it to grow.
For sure. And then also, like, just to throw it out there for all of our agents, we have all of our trainings, all of our podcasts, everything is recorded, everything is put up on social media, everything is pretty much available for each and every single one of you guys on all of our platforms to just kind of go back and train some more, or hop on the boot camp and see some of the videos that all of our managers put up for you guys. So when it comes down to like the training and the carrier information and all of that good stuff, we already have all that stuff for you guys available all the time. So it's just basically, searching for it, but everything's pretty much there. So
what's the next step for us at FFL Elite?
So for me, it's always trying to make contracting as seamless as possible, and taking away the headache from our new agents. That's always the main goal for me, is kind of like making sure that everyone is moving along. And then number two, for our agency, I just really want to see that all of us collectively, like recruit and grow this thing, and be able to identify so many other agents that are out there that are looking for a good opportunity to get some more money and be able to actually grow their business. Because in actuality, when it comes down to recruiting, I run across a lot of agents out there that are fairly newly licensed. Even if they're not newly licensed, they're people that are just like in really bad situations when it comes down to like being partners with their like practice companies. And there is a lot of people that can benefit from just being exposed to the opportunity with Family First Life, for sure. So I think the main goal would probably be like, put the opportunity out there, no matter like to who you want to extend it to, but just talk about it and give somebody else an opportunity to make, to have a better future, or a better like a better opportunity in general. Yeah. So like, I mean, overall, I think that should be the goal, is that for all of us to just collectively share the opportunity with anybody that wants to, make a career change, somebody that wants to like hit a new financial goal, someone that wants to like build a side business, So yeah.
Yeah, and we'll be shelling out more money and just figure out more ways to talk to more people, so we can get more people in here. So thank you, Joan. Yeah. All right, so let's get another staff member in here. Which one of y'all will come up? Sam, you ready? Ready or not? You're coming. So Sam actually is the Sam's actually the person that introduced me to Mia. So we're here talking about building and how we can bring in more people. And Sam introduced us to Mia. It's lovely to meet you.
Thank you for having me.
You learning a little bit more about the business from listening to more people talk?
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, I think being here all day today has kind of opened my eyes a little bit more after just initially watching that introduction video and kind of learning a little bit about what you guys do. But for sure, I've been learning a lot today.
Has it been what you expected, or a little bit different?
Way more fun.
Definitely a lot, like the camaraderie that you guys have, even, the idea that everything's pretty independent and you kind of run your own thing for yourself, was kind of a shock to me. I kind of like how you guys have a family sort of vibe and you support one another. It's really awesome. Right. So other than that, it's been, Yeah.
Well, definitely we have fun. I mean, I don't think we'll ever have a problem with that. But the thing is, at the end of the day, it's still a business. So we still really want to figure out how we can continue to improve and put in more work and more effective work. So, Sam, how long have you been with us now? We're running our social media.
I think about 3 months now. I don't know what month are we in?
May.
About three or 4 months now. It's been really fun. It was definitely a big shift coming from just like what I've have experience with running, like kind of more of like focus on product and like an actual product, physical, tangible, and then coming to life insurance. It's like trying to market that. It's been interesting, but I'm really thankful for the experience. It's super new. I'm like, I don't really know how creative I can be, but I'm like, we got this.
Yeah.
Well, this is definitely a people business. Everything is, the entire crux of this business is all dependent on people.
Yeah. Right? And it's nice because like you really can just, the more you focus on like the personality of an individual, or like just who they are as a person, like that is what's going to sell. That's what's going to recruit. Like it is so true that you want to recruit quality people because it is your business. Like this is everything. The people that you have are your business. So it's like if you recruit people that just don't offer any substance or any quality, like your business isn't going to offer any quality or, it's that's how I've noticed. So it's like put yourself in a position to get people that, represent who you are, like your ideals and your business strategy. I don't know, but that's kind of how I feel about it.
Yeah. Well, we're really aggressive. We're actually really serious about improving our social media because we understand it's a big part of our business. It's not just to have social media, just to have social media. We want to grow.
Yeah.
We want to grow our business, give the agents that we have the best opportunity, but also to introduce this opportunity to other people that normally wouldn't think about getting into this field, that wouldn't think, they're capable of doing something like this. I mean, we're blessed with diversity in this team. So we have people of all different types and, people having success and growing and just making improvements. So what has been your main focus, coming in and running our social media?
Honestly, kind of just trying to showcase how easy it can be when you are brand new. Cause like a lot of agents will come, whether they transfer or just have been in the same in the game for so long, but it's so accessible. Like, especially as a new agent, it is so easy to get the training, like you have so many resources. There's so many people that are willing to help. And so like, I'm trying to focus on making that known. Like anybody can do it if you're willing to just work, or if you're willing to just kind of learn something new or trying to compromise on some old habits. Like it can be for you if you are willing to like let it.
Yeah, I'm going to borrow a page from John Tow's training earlier. It's not easy for new agents. It's better for new agents.
Yeah.
If you're willing to put in the work, because I mean, if you're starting something new, something brand new, or you're trying to get to a position you've never been to before, why should you expect it should be easy?
Yeah, literally. I mean, I don't think no job is necessarily going to be easy, especially if it's your own business. Like if you look at it, like thinking how easy can I make it? It's just gonna kind of reduce it's going to reduce the quality of the business overall, in my opinion. So I think go into this like with, I don't know, full force, go for it. Like build your business and see how much better it can be. It sounded so aggressive. Sorry. Like do it.
Well, so Sam was actually introduced to me by Yoel because they knew each other. And then we actually moved him down here so he can run our social media, which it's been a great experience so far. I'm happy to have you here.
I really like it here. It's so much sunnier.
We kind of stole you away from Mia because
yeah, you did.
But then see, that's the thing. I mean, like now you introduced me to Mia, so this is also, if you're looking to build a team. I mean, Sean has been talking about this very frequently recently, and it's because we kind of got away from the fundamentals of things. Like this is not multi-level marketing. We don't need your list of friends and family. But the thing is, if you're serious about building your business, the best way to do it, the way to get the fastest buy-in is with people that you already know, people that you're familiar with, people that you're comfortable with. So I mean, like Yoel actually was introduced to me by Marlon, and I kind of generally knew him, and then he was like looking to get into the media production space, and then he was kind of doing it, but he was looking for something a little bit more full time, and I didn't have the budget at the time. I didn't think that was something I could do, but took a chance. We met, liked each other. We vibe business wise. So I was like, all right, let's see where this goes. And then, it progressed, then we're like, we need to expand this thing. Then introduce him to Sam. and then I'm talking to Sam. I'm like, hey, we need to further build this thing out. I'm like, yeah, who do you know? And then, he introduces me to Mia, and we've got on FaceTime a few times. And, so that's kind of the really like 6 degrees of separation thing. The thing is, if you want to build a business that you really care about too, because I mean, we've just met in person today, and I feel like I've known you for a while. Right? So if you can utilize your warm market in that respect, and you genuinely believe in what you're doing here, you genuinely see the opportunity, then it's really easy to share that with people. And then it also keeps me way more accountable, because I'm like, if you come aboard, like I got to make sure you guys are making money, make sure we have an opportunity to grow here, that you guys are part of a worthy organization. Like it holds us all accountable to work with people that not to say that cold market hires or people that you hired off an ad or whatever, like they don't matter. The thing is, you got to build that relationship over time. Whereas here we have some built in.
That's also the kind of the culture here. It's like if you were to present me like or present someone that you know and trust, like because of how the business works, it's like I trust Albert. So if he's going to introduce someone to me, I'm going to assume that they're trustworthy. Like, I don't know. I think that's kind of how you build that reputable business. It's like, if you have quality people, they're going to like the people that they bring, like, it's a lot easier to trust them. And like, it's beneficial. Like every aspect of the business benefits each other. Like your uplines, your like under you, whoever's under you, like it just kind of all fits. I don't know. I'm trying to explain it. It's like explaining it for dummies 101, but I'm trying my best.
That's all right. So I mean, obviously you handle your department, but I mean, for people out there that are watching, looking to build their business, why is it important for them to individually post if they have someone like you?
Why it's important for them? I mean, show yourself. Like you are your business. So I mean, if you are unable to like kind of showcase what you are and what your brand is and your brand identity, like it's going to be a lot harder to build that trust with people. And social media, especially, like it's just like, it doesn't really matter what you're posting right away. Like just get stuff out there, get who you are out there. Cause it's going to make it a lot easier to have those relationships and kind of build those. But yeah, I mean, just post who you are. That's what I would recommend, especially if you're a newer agent or if you're still like just like normal working agent. Like that's the number one thing I would recommend.
Social media is a powerful thing. I mean, I've had this guy call me up because like he just like looked this up and then he called me because he I guess he'd been watching the videos that you guys put out. So I asked him if he had any questions. He was like, oh, and he brought some particular video and then he's like, I remember when you said this and this and that. And I'm like, oh,
it's like, powerful.
I guess the interview's over. We're
You're like, yeah, perfect. I mean, literally, that's how it works though. Like social media, it's what you post will stay. So one, be careful with what you put on there, but two, like just put something out there. Otherwise, there's like you won't go anywhere. There's nothing out there. Nobody can relate to it. Nobody can reference it. So, if you're anything like me and you hear your voice on ever, you want to cry, just post it and don't ever watch it again.
So what's the next step for us to take FFL Elite to another level? I mean,
at this point, it's like as if everybody is just like together, like we are all posting, reposting, sharing. And this is just from social media, like that aspect. But like the more engaged we are with each other, like the easier it is to grow. Just because imagine you post something, you get 30 likes, and then you're like, oh, that's nothing. But imagine 30 people walked into your room and was like that's a lot of people. That's a lot of things. It's like you don't really know what the reach is on your social media and like your presence that you have. So I think just kind of engaging with other agencies and just being really, really present, it makes it a lot easier for every agency to grow from that. So that's what I'd recommend. I keep saying that. That's what I'd recommend.
You are, but I mean, you've been really good about, tagging a bunch of other teams and, engaging with other groups. I mean, that's something that I've never really done. And I guess it's because I never was used to it. Cause I'm like, why would they want to hear from me? But,
well, yeah, it makes it easier. Cause when people see your stuff, if I'm tagging a bunch of people, I'm so sorry to a bunch of you probably, but like
you're welcome.
Yeah, I mean, you're welcome. But when you tag people or like when people see your stuff, it's like the more people that just are engaging with it and sharing it, it's just getting it out there. It's just getting it out the more, just kind of like the whole point of social media was or is in general. So I mean, it's maybe annoying if I tag you 47 times in one day, but it's not me that's getting tagged. I'm tagging you. So
cool. Well, I appreciate you coming on and sharing with the group. And were you terrified?
Yes.
we couldn't tell you.
Thank you.
I'm gonna have you swap out with Yoel. So.
Amazing. Bye,
Thanks,
everybody.
Sam. That's Sam, our social media guy. So Yoel is also in this mix. You know Yoel,
what to
right,
do?
Through Sam, yes.
So
we're besties.
Oh, yeah.
We just met.
We were way back.
Okay. So how was the event for you? I mean,
event was good. I was mainly obviously doing video, but it was cool. It was good. I thought it was a good event, but we had a conversation. Obviously, there's a lot of things we could have done better, but that was cool.
Were you surprised by my critique or feedback?
I mean, a little bit. Like I always try to put things in context. Like I knew it was our first time, so I was just like, it is what it is. But I did my part.
I'm just kidding. Way to kick that can down the road. No, I mean, just to give a little context, so we debriefed and we talked about the sales conference, and overall, I mean, like I'm not complaining about anything. Like we got through it. John planned it out. It was his first event, which he'll come on and share in a little bit. But it was just new. And like for me, I was like hands off and I just sat back the whole time. So it made me really nervous. And then like had everyone share about their thoughts, which were all valid. I mean, it's interesting to hear what they all said. And afterwards I gave my feedback and I'm like, I think we could have done better. And I'm always going to feel that way because, there's just, for me, if you feel like if you get satisfied with anything, there's no real desire to want to improve. And I recognize we're doing okay. I'm doing okay personally as far as my business, but the thing is, I can't feel that way because I have a lot of other people on my team that are depending on my my ability or my desire to want to continue to grow for them. And I don't take that lightly, and I can't sit back and be satisfied and just be complacent about that. So, I'm trying to just hold myself accountable.
Yeah.
So I mean, when you guys are okay with it, and not to say you guys were like totally self-satisfied with it, but I was like, we need to continue to push and get better, and we need to continue to do more for the agents so everyone has an opportunity to grow better.
Yeah, and to be fair, like I definitely thought there was a lot of things we could have done better, but for me, I was just like, okay, like I put it in this. I always by default am gonna assume that everyone thinks, okay, we could have done a lot better. So for me, I'm just like, okay, like I thought it went well for our first time, considering the fact we could have done better, this and that, right? Like, but for me in my head, I'm like, I already assume people are gonna think that way. Like, yeah, there was this mistake, but we could have done better, and we will do better. But it's our first time, so it is what it is. But then again, it's a little bit more casual for me, given I'm the video guy. It's not my name on everything. It's not my agency, so it's a little bit less on the line than it is for other people. So I'm a little bit more, I mean, by default, I think I'm a little bit more relaxed, but that's why I was a little bit more like, yeah, we'll get him next time.
Right.
So
and we will. But I mean, for me, I'm just like, it was a good growing experience for all of us.
For sure.
I think if we communicate what we need from one another and have a little bit more accountability, and I acknowledge a lot of that was my fault for not having spoke up and mentioned things sooner. So that's one thing we'll figure out, because I know we're going to all continue to work.
For sure.
Continue to care about this agency and care about getting better. So
for sure.
So what are you focusing on right now to help Elite grow?
Yeah, for me, I think like things go in cycles, especially with marketing. It's like the this is going to be very dramatic, but like the art of war, right? Attack where they're weak, right? For me, that's how I think of marketing. I just scared the hell out of Sam. I think I try to think of that with marketing, right? Like, where is the least expensive, eyeballs, right? Like, where are people looking? How can I get, the message out there in the most efficient and the most like, cost effective way, or like the most efficient way, right? Because, we want our time, we want our money to go longer. And, for me, I'm trying to put, our resources, video, whatever, channel it and put it in the right funnel to reach as many people, right? So for me, I've been talking about this for a while, but TikToks, Sam's been doing a great job. I've been tied up doing editing, so it's been like a really great thing to have Sam kind of take over the TikTok, make a lot of great TikToks that we can put on Reels. And then obviously the clips from the podcast, stuff like that, we've been throwing that on Reels and TikToks. So for me, as far as organic content, that's something that, there's nothing really out there like it. And it's been super effective. As far as, paid ads, the thing about like, a lot of people are starting to get, Facebook ads, sign up with agencies. It's great. We're doing it. It works for us. But, the thing is having, you guys were talking about it earlier, having that relationship with someone and having it be, warm market, quote unquote lead. I don't even like to talk about people like leads. I think it's like kind of cringy, to be honest, but, having that warm market, I guess, person that you want to bring into the business, that's going to go a lot farther. Like I've just seen it and I've personally just known it. It's going to be an easier transition than taking someone that is cold, that is, maybe filled something out, maybe is, has filled something out online or put in their survey or whatever, and they don't know you, and now you're taking them from not knowing you to investing to this and that. It can work, it works, and it will continue to work, and we're going to utilize it. But let's keep let's follow the 80-20 rule. 20%, 80% of the results is going to come from 20% of the work, and I think that 20% is going to be that warm market, those people that you already know, that you already have somewhat of a relationship with. I mean, I can even think off the top of my head, the agencies in Elite that, have been grown through organic, oh, I met this person at a conference. I met this, this person was my friend. Oh, social media, they just sit on my, that's really where things are going to go a lot farther and be more efficient for you guys. So that's what we're focusing on for sure.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the perception for a lot of people. They want to avoid warm market because they're like, oh, I don't want to inconvenience people that I know. But Sam, when you all reached out to you, how did you receive it?
I really was like, oh my God, like this is a blessing. And I feel like I don't know how any other way I would take it, or like if that's how you think, then I feel like I don't know how any of your friends could take it that way. When I got a call, I was like, no way, like you're giving, like this is an opportunity, like for me, for real. And I was like, dang, okay, bye. Like, I'm on my way. I don't know. I feel like when you have an opportunity like that, it's worth sharing, because you don't know how many people can actually, like, you could genuinely change your life.
Yeah, you got to have people meet you halfway too, putting the opportunity out there, but chasing them down is not, being like, hey, how are you? You ready now? Every single day, a message, a DM, that's probably not going to go a long way. But, being persistent, but, not being a pest is like a sweet science, but, if they meet you halfway, then you can kind of be a little bit more, aggressive as far as getting them started, because, they're showing interest. They're kind of meeting you halfway.
How about for you, Mia? When Sam hit you up, it was like some random evening.
Yeah, literally a random night.
and they introduced where you're like, oh God, what kind of scam is he trying to get into? Or like, what was how did you receive it when he?
I mean, initially, when you look at all of the opportunities that this company brings in general, it does kind of seem too good to be true. That essence of like, that kind of seems totally fake. But then talking through it, and I think the biggest allure for me was the independence of it all, and just the potential for not only self-growth and success speaking in your career, but also kind of like individually speaking. I know earlier it was kind of talked about how it's invaluable when you have a group of people around you that kind of push you to be better. Obviously, as an agent, it's totally self-motivated. You have to grow your business for yourself and be able to get up every day and put in that work. So I think that hearing about it, learning about it, it's definitely made me turn my head a little bit, because what I do now is completely different. I've never thought that insurance was something I would be a part of. So for sure.
But the more and more you hear about it and you see it, you can picture yourself.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, most definitely.
Glad we fooled her so far. So
awkward laugh. That was so awkward.
So Yoel, what do you think we can improve on as a group?
So yeah, I think the main issue I feel like is, Albert's going to always invest in his business. That's why he's in the position he's at. He's put a lot of effort in, he works hard, but he invests in his business, even when it's uncomfortable. I think, for me, the greatest growth that I've ever had, and the reason I'm here, is because I invested in my business. I had I think I had 10 G's, and I just bought all camera equipment. And if I didn't have that, I probably wouldn't be working here, because of the interview that he had. It's funny. Daniel sat me down like the Japanese mafia member or something.
I had a consultant at the time. Yeah. I didn't know anything about.
And he was like, hey, so what gear you got? And I was like, yeah, I have a drone, I have this lens, this camera, this and all that. And he was like, oh, okay, cool. And I was like, okay, cool. Thank God I just bought that stuff. And so and the nice thing is like, if you invest, there's going to, obviously I had practical effects on my business. And, obviously I was able to work here and have additional projects, but it had, that quote unquote superficial credibility of like, hey, this guy is serious about his craft. He's not just like trying to get a check. He's like, he actually put his money up, which is a big deal. Like, if you guys hire somebody, if you hire an admin, a recruiter, social media person, people are going to see that and be like, oh, okay, like this guy's like not playing around, like he's serious. You know what I mean? So, that does go a long way from a practical perspective, but also from, a surface level, like, political perspective. Right. So, I think if we kind of get closer to that sense with everybody, even, the agencies under Albert, and we communicate that to everybody, and I'm making sure I'm doing it, and as well as communicating that and showing the value to the agents that we have, I think it's going to go a long way.
So, I mean, it's kind of analogous when you buying all the equipment up front with the last bit of your money. I mean, it's analogous to a lot of us when we first start off in this business. You know, you're thinking like, well, I only have this much. Like, should I spend it on leads? You know, like what I got to pay my bills? Like, what should I do? I mean, like, if you don't bet on yourself, there's no way for you to like advance beyond what you have. Like, that money's just going to sit in your account, and you know, you're still going to pay your bills, but you have no opportunity to make a return on that. No opportunity for you to improve upon that current financial position. So, I mean, a lot of times people, you know, think if you're going to put that kind of money up, I mean, the thing is, you're also committing yourself to work if you want to make it work.
100%.
Right.
100%.
You had no doubt you were going to work.
I had no doubt that media, videography, it was what I was going to do, is what I was meant to do, is what I wanted to do since I was a kid. So I had full confidence in my commitment to do it. Like, there was no real doubt. It was like, dude, I just did not even care. I knew for sure I had full commitment into what I was doing, you know? So I think, like, until we get to that place in our respective business, for me, it's obviously the media space. You know, obviously I have other things going on that I'm going to invest to. That's when things start to get really serious. And that's when things start to snowball. And that's when opportunities start to open up. You know, for me, I invested that stuff with no prospects. I was doing like PA work. I did like teleprompter work, just like little jobs on set, maybe $400, $500 a day, $300 a day, like stuff like that, like here and there. But like, I bought it with having no job lined up. Let me repeat that. I spent 10 G's on equipment with no job lined up. But then it was probably like a week or two later, Marlon called me, and then, you know, we started talking, and then, you know, things started to snowball. And I've honestly been hired for certain jobs just because I have a drone. As stupid as that sounds, I'm not even kidding. You know, so it's like just little things like that will start, the energy will start to come back if you start to invest. It's just the law of nature. Like, you can't cheat that. It's just, you can't.
So thank you, Marlon, by the way. So anytime you guys are out there thinking, oh, I don't want to inconvenience my friends, or I don't want to inconvenience someone that I think could be good at this, or someone that needs this, instead of thinking that way, just think about the people that are in position because someone looked out for them. Yeah. Someone just shared it with them. So, I
mean, just think about that. You know, Albert, he brought in a social media
Jack
person. Marlon, you know, look at Marlon's agency. It's doing great.
Yeah.
And he has a social media person. You know, he hired me on even before Albert, if you think about it. So like, think about that and look where they're at. They're in a great place. They're still growing. They're not happy to where they're at right now, but you know, just think about that, what that does over time, you know?
So even though your role is a little bit different, do the same thing. Invest in yourself and put in the work.
100%.
So, appreciate you coming. Any last things you want to share with the group?
No, I had some like private stuff that we can talk about, you know, elite only, you know what I'm saying? But we can chat about it next week or something. Yeah. We'll do it in the pre-recorded section.
So we'll bring on the last guest. So we know we're a little bit crunched for time, but John, I'm gonna have you squeeze in. You know, so appreciate you guys staying for a little bit longer.
You all stole all the time.
I know, my bad, guys.
Now they sat down. We're out of time. So there you go. No, I mean,
and don't have me on if you don't want me to suck.
So you planned the whole thing out, which I appreciate.
Yeah,
you know, good job to you.
Hey,
how was the overall event in your perception?
It went well, man. It went off without a hitch. Besides the last part with Clifton, I signaled for Clifton, hey, set the time, and then Sean Mike went off. But as far as time, and it was funny because like Clifton was like, man, what do I do? I was like, dude, that was my fault. Oops.
We all had a good laugh.
Yeah. There was a lot of little things that happens at the last minute that could be prevented or avoided or planned ahead. But aside from those things worked out. Everything worked out well.
Yeah. And I gave you guys all my thoughts, my feedback on it. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I thought it was important because I could have just went along and be like, yeah, everything was great. No need to change anything. But you know, we're all in a position. We're on a pivotal point in our respective businesses overall as a group and also as individuals. Because speaking of more marketing, I brought John here because we've known each other for 15 years now.
Yeah.
And so we knew each other from the previous company. But it's important to me that the people I bring in, do well. It's important to me that everyone here does well. I mean, but the level of commitment, it's all dependent on what our relationship is, how accountable we are to one another. So it's not just like, I'm not going to go and volunteer to someone that doesn't want to talk to me. I'm not going to go be like, hey, let me tell you how to run your business if they have no interest. So we all got to understand that part. But I mean, it was cool watching John, plan this whole thing out. And even with the things that I felt like we could have done better at, it was just cool watching him take another step, in building his own business.
Right. So the biggest thing to that, though, when we're building our business, is to create that extreme ownership, right? So I run it my way. Albert runs it his way. So he sees a different method to how he grows it and how he wants the event to run. And then I see a different method on it too. Are we wrong? No, there's going to be differences. There's going to be methods to madness, but the biggest thing you got to take away from it is, what is the vision? What are we building for? Right. And then what are we working towards? Did we plan these events for other agents? Like, honestly, I planned it to benefit our team. Right. So if we can continue to build on that and we can expand on, growing strong backing in Los Angeles. So I think, we're going to run it back. Right. When are we planning on doing it again?
We're
somewhere
in the fall. We're going to do a fall and winter sales conference as well. We're going to keep trying to get better. We're keep offering more opportunities to people. We're going to have more new guests out there to learn about the opportunity.
Yeah, and then bigger thing, we started off us running it here in LA, but wherever you guys are at, start thinking bigger. We can come to you guys. We'll help you run your agency. And then, so this is where we got to take it. We got to grow. We got to grow bigger. We got to create a landmark of FFL Elite in your specific agencies in your territory. So going back to Yoel and the warm market and the warm market recruiting, I was mentioning this to my agency. That's going to be the next point. Like, think about it. How many of you, or, for wherever you're at, located in the city you're in, how many people are working with you or you're working with that's in our agency? If you're short under 10, that's a lot of opportunity that you can create for your business. So we got to create extreme ownership on that. So do you have to build? Do you need to know everything? Kind of like what John Tell was saying, I feel like I got to have a grasp of all things. Don't think too much about that. We got your back, right? So if you got a whole team you're talking to, we could be on the Zoom. You want to create a quick, a session, a training, a BDM, business development meeting, you let us know. We'll come out to you. Okay, that's where the opportunity comes in. So don't think short of you got to know and excuse me, and be able to do everything on your own. We'll have your back. We'll come out for it.
There's also that fine line of walking. So if you're building a business with people in the group, there's also the part of like, this is my responsibility. I want to take care of it. And there's also the other side of it where it's like, well, I have a group of people, like, even if I mess up, if I don't do this, like someone's going to take care of it for me. So, I mean, you have to like think about how big do you want to grow your business, and how seriously do you want to take your business? So for me, which is a weird thing because I'm a pretty laid back person. Like, I don't really stress out over things, but John's even way more laid back. He's any more laid back, he'd be horizontal, right?
let me tell you something. So I was telling this to Joanne, right? Like, we could tell at the start of the conference, Albert's a little panicky, right? Like, we were starting late, things are happening, man. Even the speakers aren't there yet. You kind of see him, he's starting to sweat. And I was texting Joanne, it's like, man, look at Albert, he's a little stressed. Look at me. I'm just like, man, Jesus, take the wheel. Things will happen, it'll happen. But it worked out well.
Well, it was a weird thing because I wasn't that nervous for me. I was nervous for like everybody else. I wanted the event to go well, and I wanted people that were attending to get value out of it. So it's just a little bit different because I'm not a control freak by any stretch, but
right.
But I also like generally have some degree of control because like I've planned things out, and for me, like it's like, while I'm generally a laid back person, it's also often construed that like it feels like people sometimes may look at it like, oh, I'm kind of just too lazy for I don't care. Like, I'm paying attention. I'm watching everything. Like, I just kind of like I kind of sit back because I watch things play out. And I got several moves if this doesn't happen. So I'm constantly thinking about my business. Also, don't worry about stuff because I know I'm gonna keep working. Like,
Yeah.
even if I had setbacks, it's not the end of me. Like, I'll keep moving forward. We'll figure it out. But it was like a good growing experience, like I mentioned earlier. To see you guys.
Yeah.
So do you feel like that's like something you could take away to help you build your business? Like,
Yeah.
Overall experience.
The experience. What I was talking to Lise because I still see her. And how I saw myself in doing that and running it, we came to the conclusion I saw it more of a task than more of an initiative of doing it. So how can we do it better? If we can create extreme ownership. The way it was ran, we didn't have a point man at the start until we at the later point in stage, I became the point man to run it. But if we had a better structure at the beginning, we can delegate, we can do a lot of things. So yeah, it's a great learning experience for everyone that was involved.
So what's the next step for your individual agency? How do you take your business to the next level?
So adding to that, the goal is to get to $1 million in a year for my specific agency, right? To do that, we need to create multiple VPs. Okay. So in a good way, we got to create multiple agency builders in locations. Okay. So if there's a VP here, let me create another VP in Los Angeles. Okay. I got Casey. He's in Tracy. He's in NorCal. Let's build an agency out there. I got Scotty in PA. Let's build agencies out there. Right. So the more we can create VPs are, 150 families per agency. Right. So we do 4 or 5 of those, we're at $1 million. Right. So we keep growing. We just keep adding to it and keep growing.
So basically you're empowering others to build too.
Right. Expand and compound through building. And then, we got to be the one to start off. Right. And then also at the same time, while we're growing, how do we, use our funds, use our mind? How do we duplicate, so creating a lot better of a system.
So for the record, I wasn't stressed out. Although it was definitely a weird situation. It's also a great thing too, because I purposely took a step back, but if you're in those positions where you feel like you don't have control, I mean, I also like logically knew if I don't like this, I can just step back up and take control for the next one, or I could do something else about it. So we're always in control of whatever situation that we're currently in. The only time we're not is if we're not willing to, have a plan for what we want to do to get out of that situation, and if we're not willing to put in the work.
Yeah.
And that's something that I always know that I'm always going to be fine because I'm willing to do those things. Yeah. So
more importantly too, for any challenge that you guys are going through, like if you're unsure, you're not like confident in your abilities, the best way is to just do it. You make a mistake. Shoot, if we didn't run on time or something happened or a speaker didn't make it, we'll figure it out, right? So same thing for you going into the field, going into telesale, going in person, making calls, buying leads. You got to audible. You got to play and be able to figure it out, but you also got to have that confidence in you to make it happen.
Plus, I mean, it's analogous to every aspect of our business. If you don't know what you're doing yet, just mess it up. It's fine.
Yeah.
Just mess it up and then just keep doing it, because with that mistake that you made or that setback or whatever it may be, it's only teaching you. It's an experience added to your repertoire and something that you can figure out next time. If this situation comes up again, either you're going to flop on your face again because you didn't change anything. You didn't take the time to pay attention to it and try to figure it out, or you're better prepared for this. Now you can try to avoid that.
Yeah. You can always mess it up. Like I remember my first presentation, right? I brought in a personal recruit with me too from our old company. And she's like, let me see you do a presentation. So I'm brand new into the business. I'm all like, yeah, I'll watch the products when I need to do a presentation. And I end up seeing an old client, like in her 70s, doing a mortgage protection with multiple variables, right? And I'm all like, I kind of saw the video. I'm gonna do a needs analysis, right? And show her a plan. So the client walks away real quick while I'm doing the needs analysis to get us water, to use the restroom. I turn to my agent. I'm just start laughing in the presentation. I'm like, I have no clue what to show her. I just made the whole thing, messed it all up. We didn't sell her anything. And I just left out of the house. Yeah, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. But we learned, and now you figure it out. When you make a mistake, it's okay. Nobody died, not yet.
There's no better teacher than failure.
Right.
So yeah, appreciate those words. So you starting to get a better feel for everything. Can you see where you picture yourself
Yeah, definitely. Definitely opened my eyes to kind of how this all works too. 'Cause, I mean, I'm pretty young, so I never really even gave much thought to life insurance in general, but yeah.
Well, I mean, this whole thing was actually just to convince Mia to come in and join us. No, I'm kidding. But I'm glad you were able to just share different levels of perspective from everyone. You know, whether you're just introduced to the business and you're just learning about it, someone that's been around for a little bit longer, different parts of the staff. So everything that we do, you know, we have control over it as long as we're willing to invest in ourselves and put in the time and put in that work. So we'll be seeing you soon. We'll be seeing
Oh
you
yeah,
around.
definitely.
Okay, so you guys will be seeing me around shortly. So for all of you guys that were on here today, we know we ran a little bit long, but we appreciate you guys, you know, coming on. John Tell, really appreciate you coming on and sharing with us. You know, it was great stuff.
Thanks for coming out.
And don't forget Kicks for Kids, June 12th and June 13th. You know, looking forward to seeing you guys out there. And if you guys need anything else, please reach out. But let's go out there. Let's go protect some families, because help as many people as we can. Share this opportunity with other people. They could really use it, whether you understand that now or you don't. You know, but go and share with as many people as you can. You know, put them in a better place. Let's go out there and be elite, guys. Thanks.